In the New Testament, the Greek word sozo can be either translated as health or salvation. In English, these two words, health, salvation, appear to us at first to be describing very different concepts, but for the biblical mind, for the biblical writers, for Jesus himself and those who followed him, the two were the same thing, that health was a totality of body, mind, and spirit. And so when Jesus says to Zacchaeus, salvation has come to this house, you could equally translate it, health has come to this house. Because the biblical mind has this holistic vision that we as human beings are body, mind, and spirit, and that therefore health is not just about the condition of my body. In fact, you could say that health is the totality of my wholeness, body, mind, and spirit, which enables me to live with the various ailments that beset all of us in our lives, and of course, ultimately, the fact that these bodies of ours will die. Maurice Maddox, one of the great fathers of the healing movement within the Church of England, described healing as Jesus Christ meeting you at the point of your deepest need. And the thing is, we don't always know what our deepest need is, which is why there is sometimes, paradoxically, healing in waiting, coming before God. Yeah, of course, we first of all come with all the very obvious things that we think are wrong with us. But what are the deeper things which may enable us to live with, even if we cannot yet overcome the things that are besetting us? And here I also think of that famous story in Mark's Gospel where the friends bring their friend, the paralyzed man, and lower him through the roof. When Jesus sees the paralyzed man lowered through the roof before him, Jesus says to him, my son, your sins are forgiven. Which, if you think about it, if you were the paralyzed man, you'd probably be a little bit miffed. It's a bit like, you go to see the doctor, you've got something wrong with your leg or something wrong with your stomach, you go to see the doctor, and the doctor, you've described your symptoms, the doctor sits back in the chair and says, well, your sins are forgiven. And you would say, well, thank you, but I had an appointment about the leg. Let me also be very, very clear. Jesus is not saying that there is somehow a connection between this man. We're all sinners in need of God's grace. There's not a connection between this man's sins and his paralysis, but it might be this, that when Jesus beholds this man, he sees something, a deeper, greater need than what we see, which is the paralysis. And actually, as you read on the story, you'll see that the paralyzed man is only healed of his physical paralysis when the scribes and the Pharisees question Jesus' authority to forgive sins. But the point I want to make is this, that we are a totality of body, mind, and spirit, that our bodies do suffer all kinds of ailments, and some of us have to wait and live with, for many, many years, debilitating illnesses, and one day each of us will die. And the season of Advent invites us to think about these last things, the ultimate things, the day when we will see the Lord face to face. And maybe the best way of preparing for that day is to place ourselves before the Lord now. Ask the Lord to look at us as he looked at that paralyzed man. And ask ourselves, when Jesus looks at us, what does he see first? What does he think is our deepest need? And how can we find those places of waiting where the Lord will minister to us and we maybe will see ourselves as God sees us and as God longs us to be.